Thank you for watching the after show. Very tripped up on my words we just started. We just nailed down the top 12 to the top 9 on the Night of Opposites. With us today we have Abbey, who is our official photographer, which means she did these pictures. Former host, he also tried to win once, Brad Pearce. Brad, welcome back, buddy. And Alisha Brown, who does all of our sound. Guys, we just said goodbye. Let's go ahead and eliminate them. Abbey, if you will do the honors. We just said goodbye to Ashley Dixon, Kathleen Kovach, right here, and also to Kristen Rottenberger, which is right there.
That was convenient.
That leaves a really big hole. I wish I would have arranged that.
Chantel's kind of sticking out. Do you think that's an indication of...
Could be. Could be.
I don't know.
Next.
Guys, how do you think that the night went overall, Abbey?
I think song choice could have been the Achilles heel of quite a few of the contestants. Personal opinion, but there were some good performances, but...
Brad, it kind of was a snooze fest. I mean, to be perfect, and that's not on anybody, but as a whole, it was boring, right?
Yeah, I feel like there's very well-rounded talent this year.
Yes.
It's a very even playing field all the way through, but the people who are going to win the night tonight are the guys who did something fun. You know, the guys who got the crowd into it. And there was a couple of ones where I just stopped paying attention.
Alisha?
Yeah, I definitely agree, because, you know, I gauge the sound, or the performance overall by how much I have to change the volume based on how people are talking, and it was all over the place tonight, because people were talking which means, I mean, they're not engaged and they're not entertained, which is the big key in this.
Is there one performance that sticks out as kind of maybe was just a terrible choice?
I'd say for me, Lauren Lever, personally. I mean, it's a great song, and she did great in soundcheck, but once we got to the performance, right off the bat, she just wasn't strong, wasn't feeling it, was kind of nervous, you could tell. And that song was Fall For You by Secondhand Serenade. I think that when she gets out there, nerves, she just cannot overcome her nerves.
Yeah, she sang well, but she just kind of stood there.
Yeah.
And how do you do that, Brad? You competed, you hosted, I mean, it's a room full of people. How do you overcome the nerves?
I mean, you just got to do it, man. I know that's not really constructive criticism, but I mean, if you want to be on the show, you got to get past that barrier. You can't just stand there. I mean, I feel like that was my strength. It wasn't my singing, as we know, because I didn't win, and you already mentioned that. But
just for fun,
being able to get the crowd into it really helps you along, because I mean, that's the name they're going to remember if you made them have a good time. So.
When Jimmy Deaton decided to do Hanging Tree by Jennifer Lawrence, I was like, what? And I kind of have mixed feelings about it. Like, I thought that he did a great job with it. The lyrics are not all that detailed. But I also feel like that, as simple as that is, like when you see the preview of the movie and they play that, it's very like powerful, and I think some of that got lost. Abbey?
There's only so much you can do with what, like, 8 lines of a song. I mean, he's a killer guitarist, and I think that showed. You know,
I think I have it memorized now.
Yeah.
You know, if he want to take it on the road.
I mean, we got to see that Jimmy Deaton vein in his neck that always comes out. You know, he's really getting into his element when that's there, and I saw that from like the 3rd time that he was repeating the chorus, the song, so whatever. You know, I was with you. Mixed feelings. Like, it was a popular one because of the Hunger Games and the popularity. But don't necessarily know that it was good for Spotlight. So.
I wanted him to hit that higher octave or something.
Yeah.
You know, like really just like belt it out. Like, I mean, he was doing the same thing, and it was great. His guitar playing was cool. He had different rhythms that he was doing, and it was all put together extremely well. But she said the same thing 5,000 times. I mean, it was great, but you got to take it up a notch or something. It wasn't very much singing.
I mean, I guess there was a reason that Jennifer Lawrence was able to do that herself. It's not that wide of a range. Who do you think redeemed themselves from British Invasion, Alisha?
I think the biggest one that started me was Sarah Jo, because, you know, of course we all know that Sarah Jo is a great singer, and she's got it. I mean, she's here for 2nd season in a row. But, you know, last time we talked about how she did the same thing she always does, and it was great, but it was boring compared to everybody else. But I feel like this week she picked a different song. I mean, it's out of her element, and got rid of the guitar, brought in the piano, so that was definitely different. And she changed with the words, and it was really powerful. Yeah, I agree.
What do we feel about, on the last after show when Jonathan Esses was here and Brandy was here, we kind of rode Junior DeVoe pretty hard. And so I think that he really kind of came back this week, Brad.
I thought he was funny. I love that. I love his show. It was just, I was watching the videos online, obviously, since I'm not on campus, but the first week when he kind of took off his brace, you know, and just threw it off, like, it was cool. It got the audience into it. And today when he pulled out the remote, I was dying laughing, and everybody was. So I really think that he may not be one of the strongest singers, but if he can keep being a show and putting on a show, it can help him get through. So.
Abbey, who kind of stood out for you this week?
In a good way or bad way?
Both.
I'll be honest. I felt that Chantel very much separated herself last week. She got a standing O, which was like, I don't remember that ever happening. I was very nervous for her song choice this week, just because you don't want to do a song that's too popular, but you want to do one that everyone knows. And I mean,
well, and we have seen in the past, Brad, that contemporary Christian is typically a flop at Spotlight.
Yeah, it's hard to pull that off.
Yeah. So I don't want to necessarily say that it was bad. I agree that she connected with the song, and that was good. But I saw her fall back into the pack, where last week I felt she very much put herself out there in a very good way. And she still did good, but I think she kind of lost an edge there in a sense. And I love her to death, but...
Who's standing out right now, then?
I think Ben Call. He's a package deal. He can roll with the punches. I mean, from Dalton making jokes with him, you know, talking about the braces, headgear. He gets all the ladies with his looks. Guys want to be in, you know what I mean? He's that kind of guy. No, but yeah, thank you. But he has a great range, great personality, and just an all-around package deal.
Something about Ben is he totally lives off the grid too. I don't think he has a Facebook.
No.
He doesn't have Twitter. Like we send the contestants messages on Facebook, and then we have to like text him personally because it's the only way to reach him. So I don't even think he realizes at this point that he's a ladies' man on Twitter. Somebody should tell him. Maybe he could get that.
I got the vibe of like ultimate hipster.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like have his jeans rolled up a little bit. Like, I don't know. He's definitely hipster.
Yeah. He's a freshman. Do you think that he has a chance to go all the way and win?
I think he has a chance, but I think it's going to be harder for him than a lot of other people, only because he is a freshman. And like we talked, like somebody, I think probably Dalton said, like he's in a very like restricted group, and he doesn't have as many friends solely because he's a freshman.
I'm going to counter that. If you take out last year, most of the winners have been freshmen. Throughout the whole history of the show. I mean, Zach won it when he was a freshman. Dalton won it when he was a freshman. I can't remember the people. But like, it's always almost been a freshman. And that's because as you go through school, people transfer. Like your friend group gets more narrowed, I feel like. But when you're a freshman, you're bouncing around all these things. Now, I don't know Ben specifically. I don't know what his connections are on campus. But I feel like freshmen sometimes have an edge because they still have this happy-go-lucky feeling with their, with the homeroom group. What's it called? Stars.
Yeah.
All that.
Insights
class, and things like that. So there's a lot of ways for freshmen to get connected. So I wouldn't throw him under the bus because he's a freshman.
Did you guys happen to notice, probably like 8 times, this was a really long week 1 vote. It was like almost 3 weeks. We did break that record. Dalton didn't mention on stage, but we broke the record for last year, like 4 days into the vote. Did you happen to see the pie chart that we posted periodically?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how, and I want to get your all's opinion on it. When we post that, and there are some little bitty slivers of pie, like, why wouldn't you think, oh my God, that's probably me, and call everybody you know, and click, 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 click. Like, why would you not do that?
Well, if they all did that, the pie chart would stay the same.
Well, but I promise you, they are not.
Well, here's a question. I mean, I know, like, I saw Trey's parents posted it on Twitter, or on Facebook. Chantel's parents were posting it on Facebook. You know, if maybe social media plays a big difference in it. I mean, we're definitely in that age where, you know, not having something could potentially hinder you. I'm not saying that, you know, it is, but that's definitely something to consider.
I think that's valid. So we mentioned we lost Kristen, who I think had an amazing voice. Something just always seemed off, and I don't know what it was, and I think it's really sad because I love the sound of her voice.
She needed a djembe today. or a cajon, either way. She needed some sort of beat. Mira's was good. She sang it well, but there was nothing driving the song.
Yeah, I think you're right. We also lost Kathleen, who we talked about, or also she has a bit of a nerve problem. And Ashley Dixon. Were you guys surprised by the three that left this first round? Abby, we'll start with you.
Somewhat. I think Kat has a very unique voice. I'm into that kind of.
I didn't hear that this week though.
No.
I was with you before, but this week, like I did not hear it.
Yeah, I think she got lost in this, and I think it kind of goes back to song choice. I think that may have hurt her, but then again, the votes were not from this week, so.
Yeah.
I agree. Kristen has a good voice, but she really didn't stick out to me. Ashley, I was kind of shocked. I think she's made a voice for herself. Definitely has presence, puts on a show for people. So I don't know, maybe it's just that she has always done rapping, so people are used to and they're looking for something different. I don't know, that may have been it. I really can't give an answer for that though.
Alisha?
Kind of the same way, you think of people who are going to go just based on their performance, but I mean, that's not all that there is. I mean, you can have your mom, like I said, posting the link on Facebook a million times, and all of her best friends are voting for you because, you're your mom's child. And so I think definitely a lot of that plays into it. Kristen, kind of surprised, not surprised, kind of the same thing, she has a different voice and, nerves, and the same with Kathleen. She struggled a little bit last time, and, different things happen, sound-wise, and things not getting turned on right, and that happens, and you just got to overcome that and keep going. And with Ashley, I feel like, you would think that she would have the in-house vote, because, everybody loves her. Everybody has loved her last season and this season, but I guess it's different. I will say I'm going to miss Dr. Dickman saying that he loves rap now every week.
Yeah.
Every week, the
I
same
don't know anything
comment.
about rap, but I know.
But I know I like you.
Here's the thing though, Brad, I'm going to get your thoughts on this. It's so easy, well, for most of the time, to click on and get the online vote. It's really, in my opinion, the hardest part is to get the audience vote. And here's the thing, I think the chapel seats 450 people. Last week, I think we barely had 200 votes. Not everybody is voting. So how do you get people to write your name down?
I think it's in the show. Obviously, I have no clue what the votes are this week, but I could expect a lot for Junior and a lot for Trey. Trey had the advantage of closing out the show, but he closed it out with a lot of energy. Ben, I mean, you can hear it when they're up there who's going to get the votes. Now, how to persuade them to do it, I don't know. I think Junior's gimmicks are a good way if you're not quite a strong singer. If you are the strongest singer, you got to make sure your arrangement's put together. Kathleen and Kristen both, I thought, really needed the drum. I thought Kathleen got lost in her guitar. Obviously, I don't really know exactly what happened last week. Hearing it online sounds a little different, but based off tonight's performance, those two got lost in their music. And Ashley last week, yeah, she was doing rap, but it was a really slow-paced rap. I don't know how many British rappers there are that she could have been pulling from, but it just didn't click. She was best when she was doing crisscross.
She may not. You're right. She may not have had a lot of options. Moving into our top 9, we have less than a minute and a half. Who is the person to watch? In my opinion, and I'm mentioning her specifically because she's amazing, and she's the only one last time that we forgot to talk about. Jessica Villegas. I think that her voice is absolutely amazing. So, in my opinion, I think that she and Ben Call are the two to watch. Abby?
I would agree to some extent. I think she needs a little more confidence in herself, but I do think she has it in her. It's just getting that out, and I think through experience, she is a newbie. Is she a freshman? Is that correct?
I know that I think she's a transfer,
Okay.
but I could be 100% wrong.
No, that's cool.
She is a freshman. She's
Okay,
a freshman.
yeah.
My crew is saying she's a freshman.
Johnny on the spot, thank you. But yeah, no, I think she can definitely step into her element. Again, I think Ben Call is, at least in my opinion, a very clear.
Okay,
front-runner.
less than a minute. Brad?
Ben Call was great. Jessica, I thought she was fine, but I hate ukuleles and was completely turned off by the slow pace.
Awesome. And Alisha?
Ben Call, obviously. Trey Bryant, you gotta keep your eye out on
Yes.
him. He is definitely a strong performer and can give Ben Call a run for his money. And I think Chantel, song choice is going to be her big thing. And if she can pick the right song, she's good.
I think, well, we'll find out on March 10th how Royalty Night goes. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you for watching.